Your award-winning political and information show, Listen to Me, starts now.
Bueno, mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? Este es J Rodríguez. Estás en el show que está pegado como el arroz y la habichuela, el café colado y sin colar. Y nosotros somos la cura a los liberales y a los comunistas y a los socialistas que no nos quieren. Pues mira, chúpense un limber que estamos aquí. Listen to me. This is the cure to the liberal affliction. Listen to me, the show that talks about conservative values, community affairs, statehood, what's happening in Venezuela, what's happening in Puerto Rico, what's happening everywhere. And you know what? Liberals don't like us, but hey, that's just me because I am an opinionated Puerto Rican pro-statehooder conservative guy. This is J Rodríguez y este es otro show de Listen to Me, ganador del Sacro Imperio Awards. Y las cosas están bien calientes. Things are pretty hot. We have a very full house. Also, we want to do a little bit of housekeeping really cool. September 3rd, Tuesday, September 3rd. Before we go, Miguel, September 3rd, está bien, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, nothing else. September 3rd is going to be the beginning of our fall part of season 3 that Listen to Me. So this show is going to be the last show that we're going to do, and then we're going to go back on the air on September 3rd. Why? I got some news that I gotta share with my viewership, but we're gonna do that kind of like at the end. So from now till September 3rd, I'm gonna take that time to ponder a possibility of a run for office. So we'll let you know about what it is, what office, and if I'm going or not. September 3rd is going to be the day on the show. Listen to me. You'll know what it is. Bueno, estoy ponderando hacer mi primera comité de un puesto político que quiero tratar de correr para. Es un puesto por el condado de Orange. Vamos a hablar un poquito más de eso adentrado del show. Tenemos casa llena. Tengo a Mila, tengo a Sandra, tengo a una invitada que vamos a estar hablando sobre Samuel Ng. Y pues vamos a hacer algo jamás y nunca antes visto en Orange County. So that's Listen to Me, because you got to listen to me. Because if you don't listen to me, you're going to miss out on a lot of good information. Bienvenido este martes. Estamos con casa llena. Mi amiga Mila, Sandra y mi invitada. Vamos a estar hablando de cosas interesantísimas para ustedes. Listen to me. Mi gente de Puerto Rico, I love you. Venezuela, we love you. Toda la gente que nos está escuchando, muchísimas gracias. More than 83 countries in the world, because this is the internet. Anybody with a computer, anybody with a phone, anybody with a tablet can listen to me, the show that is around the world in 83 countries. Here in Florida, more than thousands and thousands of people are tuning in right now, and we're very grateful. But remember, September 3rd, from today to September 3rd, we come back on the air. Why? We got to give competition a little bit of a chance to pick up. Plus, I got some very important news that we got to do. Anyway, Mila, ¿cómo tú estás, mi corazón?
Perfectamente bien, mi amor, ahí empapándome un poquito de todas las noticias de todas partes del mundo, y las de Venezuela me tienen casi que de infarto.
Eso es así. Sandra, how you doing, my dear? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again. It's good to be back.
Thank you very much. Okay, so very, very quickly, bien importante, vamos a seguir en otra parte de Samuel Ng, que está corriendo candidato a alcalde de Orlando. And my dear friend, please, for those that are listening to you and hearing you and seeing you for the first time, can you please identify yourself? Who are you?
Hello, I'm Vicki Vargo. I am a former commissioner with the City of Orlando, and I am here to support Samuel Ings for mayor of the City of Orlando.
Fantastic. And when were you commissioner?
I was Commissioner of District 3 from 2000 to 2006. And I served with Glenda Hood and Buddy Dyer and with Commissioner Ings.
Fantastic, okay. And why do you endorse him?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why I endorse Samuel Ings.
Fantastic. Let's start with the first one.
The first one is public safety.
Good.
So when I was at a homeowners meeting and the OPD captain was there. We asked the OPD captain, why don't we see any police officers patrolling our streets? And he told us, well, we have 100 police officer vacancies. So that told me right then that Mayor Dyer does not have an interest in public safety, and to make it worse, he moved to a gated community where he was better protected than we were.
I see. Sandra, what do you are the new voice in our group, and we appreciate you being with us. Is there any questions that this comment that she has just made, that these statements have made, has that formulated any questions on?
Absolutely. I mean, public safety to me, and again, for those who weren't here 2 weeks ago when I was here, my name is Sendra Dorce, and it's a pleasure to be here. And what comes to mind is, for me, public safety. In the last 2 weeks, that's been a hot topic, you know, with the shootings. And as a woman who travels pretty much everywhere on her own, I think about that constantly. Orlando is one of the safest places that I've ever been, but with all the talk about, you know, shootings, we definitely need to discuss that more. And knowing that Sam Ings is the next police officer, I applaud that service, first of all. And secondly, is he going to bring that record to his potential role as mayor of Orlando?
Well, Samuel Ings has some really great ideas. So, of course, he's not going to allow OPD to have any massive vacancies, especially in patrol. Remember that he was commander of the Orlando Police Department for the entire north side of Orlando. So he knows how to run the operation, and he is so enthused about public safety and people and caring for people that we will be in much better hands with Samuel Ings at the helm.
Fantastic. So, Vicki, what else would Sam bring to the table different than Buddy Dyer? We talked about public safety. What would be another point that he would hammer down?
Well, remember that Samuel Ings represents the tourist district. Mm-hmm. So he's very familiar with Universal and the small businesses and the people who work in these low-paying jobs. So
we're so famous that the phones are ringing off the hook, and we haven't even said the phone number yet. Yes. All right. Live radio and TV. Okay. Sorry for that interruption.
That's okay. Well, let me just give a point of interest, is that when I was a brand new attorney, my very first client was the Orlando Housing Authority. Okay. So I'm very passionate about how public housing and providing people a safe place to live. So when I look at Buddy Dyer's record, he's been there 16 years, and the only thing he's really done is demolish public housing. And he didn't build new housing and move them into it and then demolish it, but he is going forward with demolishing public housing, and there's no place for these people to go. So I think Samuel Ings has a lot better ideas. I mean, Buddy Dyer has done nothing in 16 years to help, and I really trust Samuel Ings on this issue.
Fantastic. Sandra,
Again,
out of her statements, what question can you develop about
sure.
that?
So basically, when Sam was here 2 weeks ago, we discussed affordable housing, and one of the offshoots of that conversation was the homelessness situation in Orlando. And he was very passionate, it seemed like, because many of those homeless individuals are actually veterans. And so would you like to reiterate again about his plan for affordable housing, how that's going to impact the homeless situation in Orlando?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of different ideas. One of the different ideas is, I don't know if you've ever heard of tiny home communities?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people who are homeless also have mental health issues.
Yes.
And people with mental health issues don't like to live in big apartment buildings because they really don't like being with people. So that is something that is under discussion, about whether these really well done very fine tiny home communities for people who might have, some mental health issues or some after effects of having been to war and coming back. So that is something that we've talked about a lot. So, and then there's just working around the community to find different places other than just putting affordable housing in the African American communities, because that's a whole nother issue in and of itself. So one of the things I like about Samuel Ings is that he believes in spreading the affordable housing and making it available throughout all of Orlando.
So, Vicky, so I can translate. So, entonces, Samuel Ing, lo que él quiere hacer es tratar de hacer que estas casas miniaturas, these mini houses, estén a través de todo Orlando. So, he doesn't want to put it in a specific place to kind of be like a slum. He wants to be all around. Dime, mi amor.
Le quiero hacer una pregunta a ella, porque es bien importante. Yo cuando estuve en el curso que dictó el sheriff del condado de Orange,
John Mina.
No, lo dictó el anterior,
Jerry Deming.
Jerry Deming.
So when she was in a Citizens Academy, that Jerry Demings was the lead of it.
Me enteré que hay un programa.
There's a program
para los homeless.
For the homeless people.
De hecho, por eso hay unas sanciones cuando cualquiera persona le da dinero a ellos en la calle.
So that's why there's sanctions of people to try and deter them from giving the money to panhandlers in the street.
También tengo entendido por
She
el
also
curso
understands
que ellos dieron que en ese programa ellos buscan reinsertarlos.
So that program helps reinsert these homeless people.
Y hay muchos que no quieren ser reinsertados.
And there's a lot of a minority that don't want to be reinserted.
¿Qué harías distinto para lograr la reinserción?
What would you do different or what would you know if the candidate, Samuel Ings, will do something different to achieve reinsertion to society?
Existiendo ese programa es necesario
And
motivarlos
it's necessary to motivate
para que
these
se
people
reinserten.
so they could reinsert themselves into society.
Well, there is a certain segment of society that absolutely does not want to be inserted. So
hay una parte de la sociedad que no quiere ser reinsertada.
So I think the goal is to work with people who want help.
La meta es tratar de ayudar a las personas que quieran hacer esa ayuda.
¿Ella considera que se puede disminuir el número de los que no se quieren reinsertar?
Do you think with his plan there could be a more attempt to reinsert more people, or just look at people that want to look for the help?
Well, I can't speak for the candidate on
Exactly.
that.
Ella no puede contestar por el candidato, pero vamos a escucharle a ella qué es lo que está planteando el candidato. Okay, so on your best understanding, how can this program be either modified in his view with his plan of the micro housing? On your understanding, not thinking for the candidate, do you think that's in tune to his infrastructure plan?
Well, when I think of infrastructure, I think of roads and sewer and that type of thing.
Okay, so the housing, I do apologize.
Okay, housing.
Forget micro, because yeah, in the Latin community, when we talk infrastructure, it's everything, bridges, houses, anything.
So,
Excuse me.
so I know one of the things he wants to do is to work with HUD,
Okay.
the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Okay.
But along with that, he also wants to find locations where, let's just take veterans for example. Some veterans have PTSD, and they just don't do well being around a lot of people.
Exactly.
So that's why apartment complexes don't work very well for them. So in order to bring those people in, like you were asking, then something like duplexes or these tiny home communities, and they have some out in Colorado that are very, very well done. And so I encourage anybody, and we're not talking about mobile home. We're not talking about a mobile home park with these tiny
We're talking actual home.
Yes.
It is, we're talking about between 300 and 400 square foot, something small.
Something small. Because a lot of people in this group, they don't have a lot of belongings. They don't need a lot of space. They need shelter. A lot of them are working. They can work. So they need shelter and they need a transportation. So we can look at the transportation arteries to see where there might be good busing systems or where we could improve the busing, which is a whole nother issue. But we're thinking that, tiny home communities, like I said, would have to be very well done. And they don't have to be a lot of them together, like 200 together. We're talking about small communities where people can feel like they're a part of a neighborhood because it's a smaller unit. And we really think that that can be a way to bring people in.
That is good. I think that's a very good thing. Y Mila, lo que ella está diciendo es que no puede hablar por el candidato porque el candidato pues tiene ya unos puntos que quiere tratar de traer estas comunidades pequeñas, porque hay gente que viene de guerra, viene de estar sufriendo muchas cosas que le traen pies.
Tiene que hacer un estudio realmente de quiénes son los que pueden reinsertar y quién no. Pero, o sea, yo me imagino que debe haber una política o un estudio que ellos hagan para saber el número en porcentaje de cómo puedo disminuir los que no quieren reinsertarse. Porque acuérdate que nada es difícil si tú no lo quieres ver así. Entonces todo lo podemos lograr. Entonces ahora lo que tenemos es que darle la vuelta y buscar cuál es el mecanismo ideal para atraer a esa gente a reinsertarse. Y se puede hacer.
Her recommendations to the candidate would be to try and do some studies and understanding these groups of people. What are the percentages that want the help versus the percentages of those that don't want the help? And if those that don't want the help, how can we direct them to health institutions or recommendations? What's going on that they don't want the help? It's her humble recommendation to the candidate to make those studies.
Well, there are a tremendous number of groups here in the city of Orlando.
Que son cívicos que ayudan a estos grupos.
Bueno, tú tienes a Paloma con Changing Room.
Yeah, we know of two, which is Gus Martinez and Paloma Martinez. Bless you. That have the nonprofit changing rooms. There are a lot, but what she humbly is saying to the candidate is that we need to have those studies, because what we want to do is have the great majority of those that are at the fringe come into society, okay. Right?
Right. Were you aware that the Orlando Police Department has an organization called HOPE?
¿Tú sabías que la organización de Orlando Police tenía una organización que se llamaba HOPE?
Sí.
Sí.
Es más, fíjate, yo parto del principio que para tú darle la solución a un problema,
she says that to commence the solution of a problem,
tienes que buscar la base de ese problema.
We have to work on securing the base of the problem of what's going on. So it's just a humble suggestion to the
¿Qué es
candidate.
lo que lo genera? O sea,
what generates it?
Exacto, ¿qué eyecta a una persona a ser homeless y no querer reinsertarse?
Why a person becomes homeless and does not wish to reinsert themselves in society? Sandra.
So basically, what I think is essential here also, besides just recognizing those who want to be reintegrated and those who do not, is to further segment this population into the categories of veterans and non-veterans. And I think that would, that would help. There would be different treatment for each category. I think that those who've never been in combat would probably be an easier population to work with, but those who have severe, intense PTSD are going to be the ones that are going to be traumatized by going in closed spaces, because one of the symptoms of PTSD is claustrophobia. So, being in a home, being with shelters, it's feeling a trap in not being able to escape when it's needed, when they're in an emergency, just like when they were in combat. So I think it's important to know what the population is that you're dealing with. But I must reiterate that this must be a priority. And also, once you segmentize that population, to engage the Veteran Administration to bring them in as a partner. Not just the local, but the federal government to make
Veterans Affairs.
Absolutely, because I think
services.
These people keep us safe.
Again, this is the first time you've been in my show, but as you can see, we not only pick the brains of candidates or people that support them, we also want to try and educate them and understand them so they could become better candidates. And mind you, you're a Republican and he's a Democrat, so he's the first one that's been to this show because I'm a Republican. So,
he must be good if I'm supporting him.
Exactly. So, and I give you kudos to that. Nevertheless, I hope you take what we're telling you in a positive light and you tell the candidate that these are humble ideas from people that are in the streets, because my dear friends here, they're educated people. She's a lawyer from Venezuela. She's has her own education and her own standing, but she's here in my show because she brings something to me. They bring something, all of us. So that is what we want to do. Now, partaking on that, let me see your talking points. I know I didn't want to look at them, but I'm going to have to look at them real quick. Okay, look at here. All right. Public transportation. Talk us a little bit about...
Directly correlated to because I know one of the things when I moved here and I was thinking about, is this going to be an experience like New York City, or is this going to be an experience like, I don't know, where you always need a car. I think Los Angeles, for instance, where you actually need a car. And I realized this is not a place where you're going to be, this is not a public transportation friendly city.
Exactly.
And those people who are working but still unsheltered, they depend on that public transportation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Vicki, what can you talk to us about Samuel and his proposals for public transportation?
Well, for one, Samuel Ings is going to attend Link's board meetings. So I'm going to tell you of a scenario. So I was working with this community who they're second in the county for Link's ridership, second only to Disney. And they have one of these super stops where a lot of buses come in and people transfer. Well, they were having some issues. So they were having some crime issues. So they wanted cameras, they wanted more lighting. I mean, they had a lot of people coming, to this particular spot to catch buses. So we weren't getting anywhere with Link staff, of course. So I said, all right, I will go to the Link's board members directly and ask for help. So I did that. And they gave me $700,000 for improvements to that super stop. But that money came from Mayor Jerry Demings, the Osceola County Commissioner, the Seminole County Commissioner, the Florida District 5 Secretary of Transportation. Buddy Dyer missed all 4 meetings and never heard a word I said. So the one thing about Samuel Ings is he will go to the Link's board meetings and he will be a voice for the people who need better and safe transportation.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that Buddy Dyer never went to one of these meetings?
No, he missed 4 consecutive meetings. So what does that tell us?
He's a career politician.
But Buddy Dyer doesn't really care about people using public transportation. And Samuel Ings, who again represents the tourism district, is very sensitive to people being able to catch the bus and get to work on time so they don't get fired. So I'm very excited about Samuel Ings and his interest in public transportation.
So,
Sandra, and I do apologize to interrupt you. In your knowledge, a politician that doesn't go to his meetings, isn't that a dereliction of his duties?
absolutely, and it's clearly we know who his allegiance is to. Definitely not the people.
And so basically, and then we're hearing that Jerry Demings wants to expand links, but yet Buddy Dyer doesn't want to be in the meetings.
It seems like his interests are misplaced.
Mira, cuando un político no se debe al pueblo, ¿qué se llama? Ese político, ¿qué? We're telling this in Spanish because it's important for the Spanish people to know it.
Of course.
Buddy Dyer nunca fue a una reunión presupuestaria del Comité de Transportación de Links. Cuatro reuniones, ella lo acaba de decir, 4 reuniones. Mila, los políticos...
Una pregunta para ella.
A question for you.
¿Mandó algún delegado? ¿Lo saben o no lo saben?
Did a delegate go or he to represent him?
No.
No.
Ok, si seguimos la línea normal,
If
si
we
seguimos la
follow
línea normal
the normal line,
de lo que un político
what a politician
debe hacer
should do
para su sociedad,
for his incumbency in his society
en base a la ética
and the ethics
y a la normativa,
and the norms,
debería simplemente cumplir,
he has to
asistir
go and
y estar
assist.
pendiente de todos los recursos y para dónde van.
He has to be in accordance with his position to what his duties, his fiduciary duties, is to that
Creo
board.
que es lo mínimo
It's
para
the
cualquier
minimum.
país del mundo y para cualquier cantidad de ciudadanos que sean representados por un político, sea quien sea.
And that's the minimum requirements of any politician that represents any group. Sandra, please.
So, the title of this type of responsibility is public servant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it seems that that's been transformed over the years. And I think we need to hold these politicians accountable.
Exactly, I agree with you.
And so the first thing is everything that you're saying here, we will come back and remind you when he wins. Mm-hmm. We will remind you. It's about going back to those who represent you and making sure that they keep their promises. They get into office, they get comfortable 1 term, 2 term, 3 terms, 4 terms, and then we don't work for the people anymore. We work for self-interest. And Orlando is one of those cities that are essential to the American economy. And especially with the current trends of gun violence, it is essential that we keep the city safe and easy to maneuver within, because this is a hub for tourism. What these people, what foreigners are listening to outside of these borders is what makes or breaks the economy in Orlando. It's very important that we provide, not for the homeless only, but the tourists that come here.
Well, let me just give you a little bit of background. When I ran for office in 2000, I ran as an anti-establishment candidate and a change agent. And I've been told that I got more done in my 6 years than all the commissioners in District 3 ahead of me. Believe me, I expect Samuel Ings to get things done.
Great.
And I will be there to help him get it done, because I'm all about getting it done. I don't just talk. I'm all about getting it done.
And I know that, and I met Sam, and I know that Sam is a man of his word, and he will do as is pleased. As the voters learn more about his agenda, and hopefully the Hispanics sepan de la agenda de él. Sí, Mila.
Sandra, hay funciones
There's functions,
y
Sandra,
atribuciones
and attributions
de políticos
of politicians
que son ineludibles.
that are not done. That they don't do the job.
O sea, si yo no puedo ir,
If I can't go to a meeting,
debo enviar un representante.
I should send a delegate or a representative, but
Por-
not be absent.
Exactamente.
And
Well,
absolutely.
he's been there 16 years, and it's
Buddy
time to
Dyer ha
go.
estado 16 años en su puesto.
So that's what happens when you're in office 16 years.
Eso es lo que pasa cuando tú estás en oficio por 16 años.
So it's time for a change.
Totalmente,
Es tiempo de un cambio.
totalmente de acuerdo con ella,
And she's in complete agreement with you.
porque es el problema que estamos viviendo en Venezuela.
And that's the problem that she sees in her Venezuela.
In my Haiti.
And in
in
Haiti.
Haiti. I'm from Haiti, and I'll say it in Creole. So, Buddy Dyer, son moun qui sont politiciens, li pa préglé rien pour Orlando, li pa même à la meeting pour représenter peuple. Qui veut dire que si nous besoin changement, nous besoin remplacer. And I said, Buddy Dyer doesn't go to any meetings, so if you want change, you need to replace him.
Yo le pido a toda la ciudadanía en los Estados Unidos
I ask all the citizens in the United States
que tienen el poder de votar,
that have the right to vote,
que generen los cambios.
that generate the changes.
Los cambios son necesarios, señores, pero eligiendo el mejor.
Elect the best out of the bunch. You have
El
to elect
mejor.
the best.
No nos guiemos por las palabras,
Let us not be guided by words.
guiémonos por los hechos.
Make sure that you see the facts and know the facts.
Los hechos van a decirle a todos los ciudadanos
The
quién
facts
es
will-
el representante político
The facts will tell the citizens what the politicians
Que
are
sirve.
all about and the ones that should be elected.
Absolutely.
Pues nada.
So please vote for Samuel Ings for Orlando Mayor.
All right. And Vicki, what's that website? You got the website? His website? No?
Ingsformayor.com.
Ingsformayor.com. All right.
one more
Ingsformayor.com.
question.
Yes, Sandra. Yes.
So basically, tax and spend is very important to me. I'm a capitalist,
yeah.
so that's the big topic, right? So on the Democratic side, there are rumors of socialism, and that would mean that somebody has a deep reach into my own pocket, which I would not allow. So how does Sam differentiate himself from the noise of socialism?
All right. Well, let's remember that Buddy Dyer led the charge to raise our taxes 18%, our property taxes 18%.
Buddy Dyers quiso incrementar el impuesto 18%.
And he has made no effort to reduce it, even though we have all this growth in the southeast and Lake Nona.
Y a pesar de todo el crecimiento que ha habido en la ciudad de Orlando hasta Lake Nona, ¿qué ha pasado? ¿Qué se ha hecho? That is
So
true.
here's one of the things that he's doing.
Esta es una de las cosas que Buddy Dyer está haciendo.
He is giving the commissioners $1 million a year to do whatever they want, no strings attached.
Él le está dando $1 millón a todos los comisionados para que hagan lo que se le dé la gana sin ninguna atadura.
And that's not how I want my tax dollars spent.
Y así no se puede malgastar el dinero de los impuestos de nuestros trabajadores, de lo duro que nosotros trabajamos. Pero mira, we work really hard, we gotta pay taxes, and then $1 million, wow.
Es que en cualquier parte del mundo
In any part of the world,
los impuestos son necesarios para la subsistencia del gobierno,
the taxes are necessary for the
pero tienen
functionality
que
of the
estar
government.
justificados.
But they have to justify the use.
Y el pueblo tiene que tener la cultura
And the citizenship and the citizens have to have the education and culture
de saber la importancia del pago del impuesto
to know that their payment of the taxes
para ellos poder recibir beneficios
so they could get benefits.
que los van a ver en la seguridad, en la
They're gonna
salud,
see,
en los estudios, en muchas cosas.
Safety, infrastructure, education, many other things.
In the
So one of the commissioners
Uno de los comisionados
is using a part of that $1 million
está utilizando parte de ese $1 millón
to put roofs on her friends' homes.
para ponerle techo a las casas de a los amigos de ellos. Wow, this is worse than the
Yeah.
Puerto Rican
It's-
telegram gate.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's just the beginning. So let me tell you what else he's doing. So in government, we have a lot of different pots of money. So you have your general revenue, which is where our property taxes go. And then we have what we call enterprise funds, which is our funds that are designated for a specific purpose and can only be used for that purpose, like wastewater. So when we pay our wastewater, the money that goes in that pot can only be used for that purpose. Well, Buddy Dyer, who you know is as an attorney, has found a way to get around that law. So he charges a 20% administrative fee against those funds, which goes into general revenue, and he can do whatever he wants with it.
No different than what Wall Street does. They charge any type of administrative fee to justify the hours that they put in. They call it an admin fee. No. But these are dedicated fees for a specific intended purpose by law. Right.
So if you look at the city budget, they call it intergovernmental under revenue, and it's almost $200 million.
Wow. So we do need a change. After 16 years of Buddy Dyer, we do need a change. Right now, I don't think that there is a Republican running, and it's unfortunate. But in the meantime, Mr. Samuel Ings, Ings for Mayor is the website. Anything else that you would like to say, Vicki, about Samuel?
Well, one of the things I like about Samuel is that he will really scrutinize the budget. For example, the City of Orlando's Facilities Department is charging OPD, the Orlando Police Department, $300 for an oil change. $300. Now the sheriff sends their vehicles out and they're charged $39.95. So this is part of the money game. So Buddy Dyer is charging the Facilities Department $300 a vehicle for an oil change, which we know more than covers the cost, right? So where does the rest of that money go? Into the general revenue, so he can spend it however he wants. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. That is just the tip of the iceberg.
With that amount of money, how many microhomes can we finance?
Exactly.
So the corruption has to stop. It's got to come to an end. The secret of corruption is something that is spreading across the United States. This is an example of democracy, and it needs to remain that. These type of corruptions, the behavior of corruption is not sustainable. This country will become, it's not immune to become like Venezuela or to become like Haiti. I had this conversation with someone. They said, oh, it's the United States, this will never happen. I said, I beg to differ. Bad management can lead to destruction of any nation. Look at the United Kingdom and look at Europe right now.
Es que la corrupción es inaceptable.
Corruption is unacceptable.
Si aceptan la corrupción,
If you accept the
empiezan
corruption,
con este nivel,
it starts with a small level.
va a ser indetenible como las bolas de
It
nieve.
will be like a snowball effect, and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Y va a pasar lo que lamentablemente ha pasado en nuestros países.
And what will happen here happened in Venezuela and in other countries.
No puedes, o sea, es insostenible y no se puede permitir.
Eso es así. No se puede permitir. We cannot condone it. Well,
one more thing. I just got one more thing, Jay.
One more thing. Shoot it out.
So, do you know why there's so many yes votes with Mayor Dyer and nobody dissents?
Why?
Because he threatens them not to give them money for their districts.
Oh, it sounds familiar. Sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds familiar because the thing of it is that that's what career politicians want to do, Vicki. They want to maintain power in any form or fashion. And how does he threaten those people?
Well, if they don't vote his way, he doesn't fund their projects. So, before every city council meeting, he sends in his staff to have a chat with the commissioners, just to make sure everybody's on the same page as him.
So he just takes from his barrel of bacon, he slices the bacon, he starts saying, okay, you want money for this project? You want money for this project? Here, vote for me. Vote with me.
That's right.
What's sad about this is that if these people were smart, they would know that good governance means being in office forever. Because if people saw that he was doing his job properly, they would never want change. All you have to do is do your job. and then you can be reelected with a landslide every time. That's the permanent strategy. Not corruption and hiding the facts, because people are going to confess. The darkness always comes to light.
Exactly.
And
It's not sustainable.
And that's why Samuel Ings is running. He is from law enforcement. He is tired of bully buddy. He's a bully. And he's tired of it. He's law enforcement. He's standing up to him. And that's one of the reasons why he's running. Please vote for Samuel Ings for mayor.
Ingsformayor.com, right? All right. So, Vicki, thank you very much for being with us. We're going to take this next couple of minutes. We're going to go around. Vicki, you're more than welcome to stay because we're going to be talking about a couple of things. But, again, I want to remind all our viewers, quiero recordarle a todos ustedes que este show es el último show de este mes y vamos a retomar el show en septiembre 3, martes, septiembre 3. September 3 is the start of our fall season, fall part of season 3 of Listen to Me. We're going to take a little bit of a hiatus on the airs because there's an important thing that I need to take, and I'm thinking of jumping into active political campaign. And there's a post in Orange County that has to deal with public safety, and I feel that I want to open up the exploratory committee to be able to run for the position of sheriff of Orange County. I would be the first civilian to run in a long time as sheriff for Orange County because all the sheriffs have had some background in law enforcement. And even though I think that this is important, I think my candidacy would be different because I would structure my candidacy in a contract with Orange County on how to make Orange County safe again. And my points would be eliminating the opioid epidemic, making sure that gangs are eliminated from the tourist district in cooperation with Orlando Police Department. That means downtown Orlando, International Drive, Paramore, places that have been for many years neglected by past sheriff administration and partisan sheriffs. One of the other things that I want to try and establish is term limits for the sheriff's office. I think a sheriff should not be a career politician, and I won't be a career politician. I won't run for the sheriff's department with guise of being president or congressman or senator or Orange County mayor. If I'm going to run for Orange County sheriff, it is to make sure that the people of Orange County is safe. And I want to try and institute that contract with Orange County because I think that is what's lacking ever since the last Republican sheriff, Kevin Barry, was in office. And I think we need to raise the salaries of our sheriffs, of our deputies. We need to get better equipment to be able to fight the gangs that are out there that have better weapons than us. We also have to do something with our schools. I do feel that armed guards in our Orange County schools is a necessity to be a deterrent for shooters to come into the school. I say this with humility and humbleness because my North will always be what the will of the people of Orange County want from me. I've always been in this community since 1994. I've been in Orange County, and I believe that it is time for a change, and it is time for a refocusing of what the Orange County Sheriff Department should be. My other indication is that we have to have a working relationship not only with the departments within Orange County, we have to have penetration of those departments like housing, health and family services, veterans affairs, home and housing. We have to try and understand as deputy sheriffs what's occurring in our neighborhoods and also amplify citizen officers. These are officers that can arrest, but will also be in the community showing that the Orange County Sheriff's Department cares Also, we want to have a closer communication with members of the media. We want to have a very good media department and our informations officer where we could have a weekly and monthly YouTube programming and podcasts in English, Spanish, Creole, in multiple languages that will inform citizens on how to react when a sheriff approaches them and how to react in a nonviolent way, so there could be better communication. Also, we have a number of officers that have been killed in duty. And I feel that we should lobby Tallahassee to create a perpetual fund, so not only the wives and husbands of these fallen officers should get money, but in perpetuity, the families should get money for the sacrifice that these heroes have given their lives for the ultimate sacrifice, which is the security of Orange County. I don't take this decision lightly. I know that I can't do it alone. It is a decision that I will be studying with my family, with my closest friends, with members of the Republican Party, because I will be running as a Republican. And I hope that the sound of Sheriff Rodríguez and Rodríguez 2020 kind of sounds cool, but it's all a dream right now. The reality will come to fruition in 2 weeks, and September 3rd, you will know the decision whether I am going to be launching the candidacy or not. So at this moment, I'm forming an exploratory committee to run for the office of Sheriff of Orange County. And it would be an honor and a pleasure to serve you as a sheriff. But again, it's just right now, it's in diapers as a dream. So, ladies, any comments on that kind of news right now that I just broke?
Ok, yo voy a dejar dos pensamientos hoy bien importantes, ¿no? Rauseo decía que el hombre por naturaleza es bueno. Y Maquiavelo decía, porque ya no existe, que al hombre había que instarlo a ser bueno. Yo le dejo estos pensamientos a la comunidad para que lo analicen y vean en cuál de los dos se pueden ubicar. Partiendo de la premisa del de Rauseo viendo a un niño y del de Maquiavelo viendo a un adulto. Otro pensamiento que le dejo, que es el segundo, señores, la única forma de educar es ser el ejemplo, y esto es para todos los políticos. No hay ninguna otra forma de educar. Yo debo ser el ejemplo de lo que yo quiero que los demás hagan. Cada vez que yo haga las cosas mejor, los demás las van a hacer mejor. No hay otra forma. Bueno, hoy me despido de la audiencia por estas 2 semanas porque Jay incursiona otra meta llena de bendiciones, con los mejores éxitos del mundo, complacida de Vicki, de Sandra, de estar en compañía de ellas dos. Y lo que le digo a mi pueblo de Venezuela, por favor, no escuchen las palabras, vean las acciones. Venezuela no va bien, va muy mal. Muy mal. Los Estados Unidos nos ha prestado todo el apoyo del mundo. Todos, señores ciudadanos venezolanos. Y lamentablemente el presidente interino está haciendo caso omiso, lo que nos va a llevar por un gran abismo del cual no vamos a poder salir en muy buen tiempo, para no decir la palabra que no se debe decir. Por favor, hay que exigirle al presidente interino de Venezuela que nosotros no somos sus servidores. Él está allí momentáneamente y no puede utilizar la Constitución como le da la gana. Ya él no nombró gabinete en el periodo de 30 días, ya no lo puede nombrar, es inconstitucional. Señores venezolanos, no se dejen engañar más. Yo soy venezolana y desde aquí me da mucha vergüenza que los Estados Unidos nos ha tendido la mano hasta lo último en todo momento y que no haya un político decente en Venezuela. Gracias, Estados Unidos. Gracias a los senadores Marcos Rubio y a todos los que han hecho el gran trabajo para ayudar a Venezuela. Y lamento mucho que Venezuela, con estos políticos mediocres, los decepcione.
That was for the message for the people of Venezuela. Sandra, anything
Of
would you like to
course.
say before we leave? This is the last show of summer, so we're coming back in fall.
Going out with a bang. Well, wonderful. This wonderful news. Thank you so much for your willingness to serve the people of Central Florida. And I am privileged to be in your presence when you're announcing this. And I wish you were here feeling the emotions as he was launching his exploratory committee because you know he sees the need. This is someone who's first serving the need of the people and then his, because I'm sure there are many things that he could be doing rather than that, because serving the public requires commitment, and those who choose that path are to be admired and respected. And the same with Sam Eng. So Jay, it's a pleasure to know you and to see where this path leads you, and I applaud your commitment and wish you luck, and any way I can help, let me know.
Fantastic. And Vicki, we are very grateful for your service to Orange County, and you will be one of my guides when I do this exploratory committee, because I know as a public servant, it is an utmost call when you have people telling you from both sides, thank you for the work that you've done, and some kind of hate your guts, but hey, there's a give and take in this. Anything else that I'd like to say before we leave?
Well, I just want to thank you, Jay, for giving me the opportunity to speak and present some ideas on behalf of Samuel Ings.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish you the best in your exploratory committee.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved public service.
Thanks.
I loved public service. I took a lot of hits. You have to be tough, but that's okay. And I never ran on the idea of everybody's going to like me. Exactly. I had to do what I felt was right in my heart. I studied the issues, and I was educated on the issues, and then I made a decision, and that was it. So
Fantastic.
I think that you are that type of person,
Thank you.
I look forward to hearing more.
Thank you. Bueno, mi gente, this is J Rodríguez. This is the last show of summer, but the show and the season has not ended. We will take up fall in September 3rd. Mark your calendars. Thank you very much. Have a very, very blessed day. Mi gente, los amo, los quiero. Septiembre 3. La noticia va a ser sí o no en septiembre 3. Nos vemos. Listen to me.